Hey guys,
I'm Jerry.
I'm Sierra.
We're ladies.
And we tangent.
I've been a nasty girl.
I've been a nasty girl. Wow.
That was really good sing.
Get out of my head. I can't. God, that song is so fucking
I
good.
just called you a sea witch.
Oh, I was like, because of my name? Sea Witch?
Or you're going on vacation? Sea witch? I don't know.
You know.
I don't know. I just been thinking a lot about mermaids lately.
I think I'm about. You know that I went to my nail lady?
Good thingamabobs.
I got plenty. I went to my nail lady. Shayna, she's back from having her baby. Love her so much. Dead set middle of getting my nails done. She's like, "Do you believe in mermaids?" Without a question, I was like, "Absolutely." What do you? Yes.
Yeah.
And then we had like a 40-minute long conversation about it. It was amazing.
Recently just talked about our mermaids episode.
Really?
Yes. If you guys don't know, we had 70 episodes before we started doing video. One of them was on mermaids.
It was.
And it's
that was
called
during COVID even. We weren't even together when we
saw a
recorded
manatee in the ocean and got a boner or something like that.
Tried to fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, should we?
Mm-hmm. What's up, everyone?
Hello. We're professional people. This is the professional podcast. Here's something that's happening. I'm going to tell you. Ready?
Okay.
I started streaming.
I know
I set
it.
up a Twitch
I'm so
account,
proud
everybody.
of you.
Thank you so much. It was actually so much fun. Okay,
Yeah.
so here's the deal. If you're like, what? I missed it. You didn't. I actually soft launched it to just my like book Instagram because I was like, if I completely fuck up, I don't want that many people to see it. And
I only want people who like me to see it.
Truly. And honestly, technology wise, I felt so in over my head when I started doing it. I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I watched so many videos. It took me like days to try to figure out.
Yeah.
And then I finally did it, and it was so fun. So if you
I'll tell you what, I tried finding it, and I typed in Sierra Streams 2 S's. That's wrong. It's CCCICI Streams 2 S's.
All lowercase. Yes.
2 S's at the end.
Yes. CC Streams.
Streams.
Because I also let them pick it in one of my book things, and they said either CC Sims or CC Streams. Both were taken.
Yep.
But I did streams with 2 S's because I don't know that I'll specifically do Sims all the time. Yeah. I think definitely I'm going to do that most of the time. But then we might do like a cozy Sunday where I do like crochet.
Oh, yeah. You don't knit. I say knit.
Oh, I can knit.
Okay. I was going to say, I say knit all the time. And then you're always like, it's crochet, but that's fine.
I can do either, to be fair.
Oh.
But I will probably.
Sick flex.
Thank you. I learned both on YouTube. But maybe I could be the YouTube.
Yes.
So I soft launched it because I knew, I was like, I don't want to start it right now and get everyone all excited and then I go on vacation because I'm literally leaving for vacation tomorrow night. But because it went well and you can watch it on video on demand still on the Twitch.
Video on demand.
VOD, you know?
like you're a boxing match. We could stream boxing matches.
And I will. Don't you worry.
We have a couple people we'd like to fight.
They said, watch me VOD. And I was like, what the fuck is VOD? And someone was like, Sierra, that means video on demand. And I was like, I'll never say it any other way. I'm going to say video on demand every single time now.
You can watch me VOD.
But it's only for like a week. But I did export it. I edited it. It's going on a YouTube channel. I just don't know which one yet. I don't know if I'm going to like make a new one because I had one for my book thing. But I don't know if I want to bring... I don't know. I'm figuring things out, guys. Just bear with me. But I will have it if you want to watch it. If you still want to go see it, you can. It was really, really fun and funny. I don't know if you watched it, but it got really insane.
You always do it when I can't.
I know.
Because I have my kids.
I know. Well, I wanted to, unfortunately, my time frame is like 6 to 7:30, mostly because we eat dinner late a lot of the times and because I start doing bedtime at 8 for my daughter, and also because time zone. I want people who are like, I don't want it to be midnight for some people who have to.
No, for sure.
So
you don't have to stream because of my schedule, but I do have to watch the video on demand.
She's gonna watch the video on demand.
I can't always be present.
That's okay. But yeah, I'm gonna start doing it. I think Tuesdays, Thursdays, probably Friday night, a late night one, so you can watch Friday nights.
If you do Thursdays, I can as well.
Yes.
Because I think that's when we're switching on and off. At least for now. Maybe I'll come and crash your stream.
Yeah. So yeah, Tuesdays, Thursdays, 6, maybe a late night one around 9 on Fridays. I haven't thought up the exact schedule, but then if it goes really well, I'm probably going to add more days on. So yeah, if you guys want to come hang out and check it out, please come do that. Number 2 thing I had for you is that I'm pretty sure, first of all, I just want to say how much I absolutely love that everybody showed up with their birds for us.
Yes. You showed up and showed out with your critters.
Oh my God. It was so beautiful. I was like, if this is what this community is about, I'm just so glad that it's here.
Thank you for showing us your critters.
At all of the videos. And I wanted to give a little update. I thought
I wanted to see. I really thought it would fit in there, and it didn't.
That I'm pretty sure I saw my baby birds. I think I saw, so it was really cute. I saw the robin that I think is the dad because it's more colorful.
Okay.
Is always up on the same branch. I see him all the time. And he used
just
to come
be
down.
looking.
Yeah, he's just like always up in this tree branch. And he used to, I know it was him because he used to fly to the nest and then back out there.
Yeah.
So he was up there the one day and then he flew down to below the trees. And when he flew back up, 3 birds smaller than him flew after him. And I was like, oh, are those the birds? And then I thought, is he like showing them to me? Oh, was it like a moment where he was like, let me show you off my babies? Oh, I cried again.
That's really sweet. And I thought of you yesterday because I was editing the Patreon outside.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden this robin flew down and was just like sitting on my fire pit. And normally birds don't come down into my backyard because Mosby's always like,
yeah.
But he didn't notice. And it just like hung out there a minute and then it flew up onto the fence and sat there for a minute. And I was like, is this Sears bird? All robins are Sears robins.
That's so true. Well, I don't know if you know, but we had a lot of people tell us about this app called Merlin ID.
Yes.
I downloaded it. It's so fucking cool. So I recorded outside and literally it would be like, whatever bird. And it was like American cardinal, American robin, house sparrow or whatever. And it would say whichever one was going, it highlights them as their, dude, it's so cool. I just sit out on my back porch now and just listen. Which one is this? And now when we're on our walks, me and Corey, I'm like, that's a cardinal. I know it.
I'll tell you what. Thank you for bringing up your walks.
I knew we were going to segue.
I wanted to talk to you about the walk. So Sierra talks about the beautiful walk that her and Corey normally go on down by the river.
We go on like a 2.5 mile, 3 mile walk every day. It's crazy, but I feel like I'm getting in great shape. I really like it.
Well, I asked her the other day, I said, hey, we're going to be over at your house anyway because we're planning something. And could I join you on your walk? And she was like, we kind of go fast. And I was like, I don't care. And she's like, well, it's kind of rocky and bumpy because there's like gravel. And I was like, I have an off-road stroller.
I was like, hell yeah, you're probably better off than we are.
She's like, go ahead and do it.
Not. We're just like,
well, I think I thought about that. I was like, why are they having an easier time if my stroller's better? And I'm like, oh, my kids are heavier and I have 2.
Yes,
that makes sense.
Yes.
But so we go on the walk. And at first, Forrest is having an absolute meltdown because he wants to ride a scooter. And I'm like, you cannot ride your scooter.
Yes.
This is not a scooter kind of walk.
No, these people are going to be booking it.
So I said,
all right,
be
going for a minute.
Then we're going to go back into the car. We'll just go home. And he's like, absolutely not. I would like to go where they're going. And so then he was mad because they were beating us. And I was like, well, this is your fault. Yeah. We would be up there if you weren't throwing a fit right now. You created this reality. So anyway, we're walking and we are walking together, but there is a distance between Sierra and Corey and Sawyer and me and Brady and the kids. And
there kind of had to be as well because of our big utility vehicles that we were strolling the children in.
Yeah, it wasn't crazy. Like we could still talk to each other, but I don't know that you heard this. We're down by the river on the rocks.
Yeah.
And Ollie goes, why is this walk taking so long? And I go, because Cece and Corey are trying to kill us. And at this point, we had gone downhill.
We weren't even halfway. We weren't even at the halfway point.
He goes, are we walking home? And I was like, we might as well. We're close enough at this point. But we were going downhill and then we had to go back uphill. I don't know that you know this happened. Brady literally had his hand on my back and was pushing me, push them uphill.
Yep. The uphill parts. Remember when you were like, damn, your arms look like it's because I have to push that stroller up that hill.
Yeah.
That hill
through gravel.
Yeah, it's tough. I love it though. That's when I get real sweaty and then we're like, all right, let's do another mile and a half.
Yeah, I was breathing heavy, but I liked it.
No,
I really liked it.
Right?
And then I went on another walk with my kids the next day.
Oh
and I did let them take the stroller.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, the scooter.
Yeah.
And then they fought over it. But then they both fought to the point where they're like, neither of us actually want to ride that because our legs are so tired.
Actually, can we both get in here?
Yeah.
You're like, get on.
And they did. I knew that was going to happen. But.
There you go. Yeah, it's like an added little bit of exercise pushing those kids. And Corey will be like, I'll push her. And I'm like, I like it. I'm a weak bitch. I'm trying to fucking
let me do
bulk up. Let me bulk up.
You're already freaking grr. Let me get grr.
Right? I felt really bad though because the next day we went. Speaking of wildlife, the next day we went on that walk. We went a little bit later, right? No, might have been earlier.
I was gonna say we went pretty late.
Because we went at sunset.
Yeah,
you and I. So we went about 6.
Okay.
The next day, and it was gonna get ready to rain, so it was real like windy. But the animals were out, so we saw so many birds, and then we saw baby beavers. Baby beavers, their tails, dude. So cute.
Did you take pictures?
No, they are really fast.
Okay.
So as soon as I pulled my phone out, they were like, psh, and I was like, was
absolutely
that
not? No pictures, please.
I thought it was a baby groundhog, but their tails, I was like, that's a beaver. Oh. And they were smaller than the groundhogs that I have. So I was like, plus I've seen
my groundhogs.
My groundhogs. Plus I've seen the beavers in that area because it's so funny because they'll try to build a dam and I'm like, baby, this river.
It's so big. You're not doing jack shit here at this river. You're just making a mess.
It's terrible.
Speaking of bodies of water.
Okay.
So today.
We love these segues.
Today, I was on the phone a lot. I was having to gather a lot of information and compile it for someone.
Sure.
And then I was disgusting and needed to get a bath. Okay.
For some reason, I thought you were saying I was disgusting, and I was like,
no.
babe, you did just say that wrong.
No, I was disgusting.
I realized you were just disgusting.
I'm gross. So I got in the bath, and I'm watching a video, and then I told you this, but Brady walked in on me, and he was like, oh, I'm sorry, close the door, and then left. Next thing I know, I get a call from my insurance agent. And we are talking on the phone, and I'm sitting there, just arms crossed, basically taking a meeting while I'm in the tub, trying not to make any sloshing sounds. Brady comes back in, sits on, because he hears me talking to someone, sits on the toilet with a piece of pizza.
Sure.
He's eating he goes, I hope you didn't want privacy. And I said, I never do.
Good. No, you don't.
And I just thought it was hysterical that I'm in the bath taking a phone call from an insurance agent and he's eating cold pizza on the toilet.
Well, that's honestly a Renaissance painting if I've ever heard it. If I've ever heard it.
So if anyone, that was me.
Okay.
If anyone feels so inclined to
draw
that Renaissance painting,
imagine.
Go for it.
That'd be beautiful.
That was so funny to me because as soon as that call ended, my sister called me and he was like,
how many calls are you going to take in this bathtub?
I know. I was like, I'm in my office, okay?
Meanwhile, today, I was taking a shower and Corey was like, oh, I'm so glad you're done with your shower. I had to poop so bad. Well, we had 3 bathrooms, first of all.
2 of them on the same level. It's not even like you had to do stairs.
I know. So I go, why didn't you go in the other one? He's like, we didn't have toilet paper in that one. And I was like, well, you could have run in, grabbed the toilet paper. And he was like, oh, I just assume you lock the door when you shower. And I go, why? And he goes, because I do. And I said, why? And he goes, I don't know, because I grew up with 4 brothers and it was fucking weird. You learn to lock the door.
See, I grew up with 2 sisters.
I was like, I keep the door open. I was going to say, I keep the door open. I keep it open so much that the other day in a public restroom, I forgot to fully lock it. I thought I was in my home. A little child walked in on me. And I went, oh, no. And she goes, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
No, please. Oh, I'm sorry. And I was like, where's your mom? Shut the door on your way out.
Nothing makes you feel more vulnerable than being in the stall with your kid and on the toilet and they're messing with the latch. You're like, no, don't you dare. Don't you dare.
How about when they start going under the stall to the next person? I'm like, hey, quit.
I can't go after you right now. I'm pantsless.
My ass is out.
I'm going to have to waddle. I'm going to be dribbling all over the floor.
But you aren't touching that person's toes.
Get back over here. You're sick.
Thank God I haven't had that with Sawyer because luckily I've had help. But like when I was a single mom with Noah, he just came in with me all the time. I had to. I couldn't leave him out there by himself. So he would just be like a 3-4-year-old just touching people.
It's me and both my boys.
I am so sorry. I cannot. And they would be like, it's okay. One older woman was like, boop, boop. And I was like, this doesn't need to be a thing. We are both shitting. So could you not?
While you're doing that, could you toss some toilet paper underneath there? The stall's empty.
Please. It always is.
Oh, hell.
All right, so I have something for Jerry. I've been doing something that I think is fun. I don't know if you do, which is that I'm just...
Sorry. We have an update. We have an update. Kristen just texted us an update from the Mother's Day episodes.
Oh, hell. About
the family who kept the dead person in their house and cashed their Social Security checks.
Oh!
They were all imprisoned.
Okay, well, that's interesting because I know exactly where that house is. Wild.
Yikes.
Damn.
Anyway.
Okay.
I have a hat on and I have no idea why.
What I was going to say was my favorite thing to do recently is that I've just not been telling Jerry what I have planned for the episodes at all. It's just a surprise every single time.
And you know what? I like that I'm to a place where I trust that you're going to do it.
Thank you.
That I don't have to ask.
You never do. And I'm like, trust me, I got it. I got it handled. I got it for the next couple ones. Planned out.
Oh, am I allowed to know?
Yeah, which is, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to need for the next round. Right now, I need you to give me your, do you stand by?
Yeah.
Send those to me this week. And then we will do that.
Part of me wonders if we could also do it on like an Instagram.
We could do that as well. But I've had some emails already.
Okay.
Because they're like listening and they have verbatim quotes, episodes that we say it. Some of them are very funny. So,
oh no.
So please give us those. If it's just like something that you heard once in a while, we will also do an Instagram one where you can just say like, do you still stand by being a Christian or whatever? I have a feeling that one's going to come up. So,
no.
But if you have like a bigger story time with it and you want to send it to the email, you can send it to landtstories@gmail.com. And also any of your other stories. And especially if you have a story that goes along with what I'm about to tell you today, which is way back in the day. Okay, let me set you up for this story time.
Okay.
I remember hearing this. I actually saw it on TikTok and I was like, that's crazy. I've never even heard of this. And it's something local.
Okay.
And it's like a history story, but more of a silly time, not a true crime one so much. So I was like, that would be fun.
Silly history
to do on silly history.
A silly. It's silly.
No, but it's also some bad stuff happened. It's all right. We'll figure it out. So I thought that would be interesting to do on the podcast. Fast forward. When I was doing the Mirabelle sisters,
yes,
I remembered I went back and listened to a podcast episode about it. It was my favorite murder episode.
Okay.
At the end of that episode, the other thing she does is what I'm about to tell you. It's this story. Okay. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. Let me put that in the corner of my mind because I did want to do that. That was months ago, right?
Right.
So
I still have no idea what this is.
So this week, as I'm thinking about what am I going to do last week, actually, it was right in the beginning after we had already recorded. I was like, I want to do this story. And then I looked and I realized that June 4th, 1974 was when it happened, which means that June 4th would have been last Tuesday. This would have been the 50th anniversary of this happening. So today I'm going to tell you about one of the craziest nights in Major League Baseball history, also known as Cleveland's infamous 1974 10-cent beer night.
Oh, no.
Are you ready?
No. The fact that I'm drinking beer and wearing a Cleveland hat, hell yeah.
So because we are from Ohio, I was like, we got to represent. I've never heard of this story, and it is fucking wild. So
10-cent
beer night. Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
So here we go. Let me get situated.
Okay.
June 4th, 1974. The 70s are a wild time. I don't know if you remember. I don't, because we weren't alive.
We were born.
But I will say, Cleveland's not doing well.
Well,
in the 70s.
It checks out. Also, pause. I'm so sorry I'm derailing already.
No, go ahead.
I was telling my neighbors. Now remember, I currently live in a retirement neighborhood, and I was talking to my neighbors about my new build, about my house, and was showing them pictures. And I said, I designed the house, and I really wanted people to be confused about when it was built. Like, was it built now? Was it built a long time ago? Like, I wanted some of the design and architecture to reflect older builds. And so I showed her my sunken living room, and she goes, this is one of my neighbors. She goes, well, that's not old. And I said, a sunken living room? That's from like the 70s. And she goes, well, that's not old. And another one of my neighbors goes, it was 50 years ago.
It was 50 years ago.
Yeah.
That is crazy when you think about it.
Yes.
But yes, in the 70s, it was 50 years ago. Cleveland at this point in time, not doing well, not even sports-wise, but also sports-wise, not doing well. Which, if you know anything about Ohio sports, that's not uncommon for us.
That's our tradition.
Yes.
It's our culture.
At this truly is.
Shitty sports.
At this point in Cleveland history, Cleveland's got such a bad pollution problem that 5 years earlier in 1969, the Cuyahoga River caught on fire.
Yes, I knew that.
Yes.
I knew that.
So, okay. And so we have a big pollution problem. Factories also at the same time in Cleveland are like shutting down at a very enormous rate. An alarming rate. Okay. So much so that this results in such a huge loss of jobs and a loss of population that between 1970 and 1980, Cleveland will lose nearly 200,000 residents.
Wow.
Yes. So 1974, leaders in Cleveland are very worried that the city is about to go bankrupt, obviously, because they're not doing well.
Right.
It's not flourishing. All right. And so on top of everything else, Cleveland's baseball team is sucking ass. Okay. And so they are not packing the stadiums. At this point in time, the stadiums are about at 15% capacity.
Holy hell.
During a game.
So just their grandmas are there.
Literally, it's like 2,000 people.
Okay.
Not a lot. All right.
No.
Also at this point in time, and currently, sometimes Corey told me, Cleveland is fondly referred to as the mistake on the lake. Just fucked up. That's fucked up, you guys, dude.
Oh, well.
I told Corey this story because I like to do these for him first so I can get a feel for it. And he was like, oh yeah, they still call it that.
Well,
I was like, that's really sad. So, all right, a year before this all takes place, Cleveland has got the lowest game day turnout of any team in the MLB, all right? This ultimately results in around $1.4 million in losses for Cleveland, which would be $7 million in today's money.
Whoa.
Is not good.
No.
So to fill the stands, they decided to do what they had already done before and what other teams had done before, and they were going to host a 10-cent beer night during the game against the Texas Rangers. Okay. All right. Okay. So I don't know how much you know about Major League Baseball.
I just don't trust any of their fans with beer.
I don't trust any person with beer normally. But
yeah,
when they got a big crowd like that.
To me, baseball is just an excuse for people to gather in an arena and drink beer.
Yes.
Because the game is not like,
it's one of my favorites to watch.
But it's not fast paced.
It's not fast paced. That's true. But if you know a lot about baseball, it can be. There's just subtle things you have to watch for.
I feel
you were just looking for hits. I feel.
I feel like there's a lot of
watching
moments
no hitters, and I'm like, you mean that there's no hits? And he's like, no hitters are fucking awesome because he used to be a pitcher. Okay, and I'm like, I get that, but also as a fan,
he still be pitching,
and I'm a catcher. Enough about me. I fuck my husband. That's from last week.
Listen to last week's episode to find out how hard. By the way, when you said that, I started giggling to myself because I remembered a story that I wasn't sure if I was going to tell or not. And someone called me out. They were like, Jerry, I see right here, you're giggling to yourself. Your mind was somewhere else. And I was like, oh no.
Okay, here we go. Back to baseball.
Back to the mistake on the lake.
By the way, I can't believe how much we've gone from queer pride to baseball. Couldn't be more. It's literally. Well, one could say it's still pretty. Who knows? I don't know.
Could be gay.
Anyways, okay. Here's what I'm going to tell you about Major League Baseball. Okay, I don't know if you know this, but essentially, they play in series.
Yes.
So they will play the same team.
Yes.
Multiple times in a row. But normally not at the same place. They go like kind of backseat, forksies it.
Yeah.
You know. So this is what by the way, for this story, it should be known that for a very long time, up until like 2021, I'm pretty sure, Cleveland's baseball team was called the Indians. They are no longer called that. Indigenous groups across the world have basically been rallying for that to be changed for a long time.
Right.
I remember going up to games and seeing protests and all that.
Yeah.
And so they did finally change it. They are now the Guardians. However, for simplicity's sake, so because some of this was still, I'm just going to call them Cleveland's baseball team. Okay. So at this point, about a week before this happens, May 29th, Cleveland is playing against the Rangers, Texas Rangers, at their home field in Texas.
Okay.
And so that game really set the tone for what is to come. Mm-hmm. So basically, I'm going to do my best to explain this as well as I can. And I'm not good at baseball things, but I'm going to try. Okay. So stay with me. If you don't know anything about baseball, I cannot help you.
You're in good company.
Yeah. So here's what we're going to do. Basically, we're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Okay. And Tom Greaves, who is a Rangers player. Greaves.
Oh.
Grieve.
Tom Green.
Not Tom Green.
My bum is on this field.
He gets a walk, and then there's a single by Lenny Randle that gets him to first base. So right now we have one on first, one on second.
Who's on first?
I knew someone was going to do that. And
someone.
It had to be me or you.
Could be one of us.
No one else is here.
Okay, so a walk, for people who may not know, means that the pitcher threw such terrible pitches that the person was granted the ability to go to first without having to hit the ball.
And then a single means that person got to the one base, right? The
after
first base, but then that other person is on second base.
Yes, the first person who was on first ran to second.
So now the next person hits the ball and it goes straight to third baseman. Right. The Cleveland third baseman who tags Tom Greaves out.
Got it.
So then he throws it to first.
Uh-huh.
It should be a double play, right? I'm sorry. He was going to throw it to second. Should be a double play. However, Lenny Randle, who is sliding into second, does what at that time is called a hard slide and basically like fucking just barrels into the second baseman.
Yes.
And kind of knocks him over.
Yep.
So it's not illegal, but it's kind of like frowned upon.
Yes.
And so Cleveland's team and Cleveland fans are fucking pissed about this. All right.
Right.
So plus they really, at this point, they were losing. They needed that double play.
Yes. A double play, for anyone who doesn't know, is when somebody gets an out and they have another out that happens within that same hit round situation.
And then 3 outs is what you need to go to the next inning. So that's good. If you get 2, then you're almost there. So,
okay. You keep going, Tiger.
You almost did it. So now we're in the bottom of the 8th, and Cleveland pitcher Milt Wilcox, which is a fucking phenomenal name, is throwing to Lenny Randle. So to kind of retaliate, what?
I'm so sorry.
What?
I'm so sorry. My brain just keeps going, Wilt Milcox.
We're almost, yes, basically that. So this is something that pitchers do kind of just to be jackasses, which is like intentionally throw a ball. When she was talking about walks, if you get 4 balls, we love balls. If you get 4 balls, you get to walk. So sometimes they'll just throw one to kind of, so Milt Wilcox intentionally throws the ball behind him, but really fast. So it kind of is like oop, I could have hit you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so Then he throws another one.
It's a threat.
Yes, kind of. Yeah, it's just to be like, fuck you, bud.
Yep.
He throws another pitch. Randall bunts. So it's just like okay.
Got it.
Milt Wilcox, who is the pitcher, goes up, gets it, runs to tag him out at first.
Mm-hmm.
He gets him out. So then when he tags him, Lenny Randall kind of fucking shoves him back. And they start tussling. And then the first baseman, John Ellis, just punches Randall right in the face.
Okay, great.
Absolutely. And
sounds like Cleveland.
So now they just start brawling. Now that both teams are out and they're fighting.
Now
and
it's
a
hockey.
big, yeah. But again, I think this was kind of a more common thing in baseball. There was like tussling like this.
Yeah.
It was a little bit more physical than it is today.
Yeah.
And it was the 70s, so there were really no fucking rules. Like it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So basically,
a lot of shag, no rules.
Yes, exactly. So after the brawl is broken up, Cleveland players and coaches return to their dugout, where they are pelted with food and beer from the Rangers fans. Oh, no. And then catcher Dave Duncan had to be restrained from going into the stands to fight the fans.
This is the most Cleveland shit I've ever heard.
Oh, it's about to get worse.
Messy.
Messy as hell. So, to add insult to injury to all of this, Cleveland ends up losing the game 3-0.
Great. Of course.
After the game, a Cleveland reporter asked the Rangers manager, Billy Martin, "Are you going to take your armor when you go back to Cleveland, which is going to be in a week?" And Martin replies, "Nah, they won't have enough fans there to worry about." So it's
big bet. Big bet, homie.
You're fucking asking for, like, you're just building this momentum for it to be a kind of revenge retaliation.
Yeah.
And you're doing it on 10-cent beer night.
Here's the thing. Did they already know it was going to be 10-cent beer night?
I don't know if the Rangers knew, but Cleveland had already been promoting it.
So. Okay. Well, here's the thing. You know how there's certain family members that, like, you don't fuck with. Mm-hmm. But if someone starts talking shit about him, you're like, yes. Actually, that's my favorite person ever, and I'll fuck you up because of it. 100%. That's what just happened. Yes. It sounds like with the Rangers.
Totally.
Calling out Cleveland fans. They're like, I actually hate baseball, and I hate every single person on this field, but I hate you more now, and I'm going to fuck you up because of it.
And, like, Cleveland is not doing well, just in general. So they're like, what do we have to lose, yes. I feel.
Yep.
So there's a storm brewing. A week later, they're back to playing Cleveland, and this is the night they're set to have their 10-cent beer night. So every journalist and like sports media person up to this point has really been like hyping this game up as like, this is a rematch, revenge, retaliate. Okay, so it's a big fucking thing. So now, to prepare you for what's about to happen, I'm going to explain a little bit about 10-cent beer night. So on 10-cent beer night, the 12-ounce pour of Genesee beer. Do you know Genesee beer?
Is it Guinness or Genesee?
Genesee. It's like a regional thing. I didn't realize until I listened to the other podcast talk about it that like it's not a thing all around. I've had Genesee beer. It is it's Busch Light reminiscent. You know what I mean? Like
adjacent.
It's cheap beer.
Got it.
So normally this beer would sell for 65 cents, and now it's selling for just a dime, which today would be like buying a $4 beer for 50 cents. Around
Holy
50 cents.
Hell.
Yeah. So
hell.
So by the way,
we're getting hammered.
By the way, this might sound like a recipe for disaster, but this was not even the first time that Cleveland has done something like this. In 1971, they hosted a nickel beer night that it was fine. Everything went swimmingly. Well, so they were thinking, it's going to be fine. No worries. And we're upping it a little bit. So everyone's going to be cool. No one had any concerns.
Sierra and I worked at a park growing up. We were carnies. There was a nickel day that happened.
I thought about nickel day often whenever I was thinking about this.
Everyone, when nickel day was about to happen, was
fucking
like
chaos.
Batten down the hatches.
No,
basically,
it was scary.
Like everything getting into the pool was a nickel.
Adults would be fist fighting in front of their children. Yes. Multiple times over nickel day. It was insane. It was insane. There's something that does something to a person when you put like
when coins are involved.
When you put things down to like such to where it's almost free.
Yes.
And then obviously the lines are going to be long. It's very hot outside. So it's just like people get into this mentality where they're just
angry. A different kind of person.
Nickel day was always so scary. The park manager always had to be like, you guys are going to get yelled at and some of you will probably cry. Just call me if you need me.
Be aware of that.
If there's a fight happening.
Yeah.
It was scary. Okay, so the only thing that they really did, like the only precaution they took for this night was to double up on security, which was actually it ended up being very good.
Necessary.
So normally they had 25 security guards a night, and tonight they would have 50. Leading up to the game, everything's looking good. The weather is great, very warm for a night game. Like everything is going really good. And the attendance has basically, it's like quadrupled because there's over 25,000 tickets that are sold to this.
Holy hell.
And
everything's
also,
coming up Cleveland.
It really is. However, what's scary about it is that the crowd is a pretty young crowd because at this point in the 70s, the legal drinking age is 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Sure is, brother.
So the crowd is basically made up to a very large amount of 18 to 30-year-olds who are getting just...
who have no fucking cares in the world.
No cares in the world. Many of whom have been out of work for a very long time. They don't have a lot of money. And for this night, you could get a ticket to general seating in the bleachers and 5 beers for $1.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, no, it's right. So there's supposed to be a rule. There's supposed to be precautions sort of set up for 10-cent beer night that caps people at 6 beers a person. But because there's a massive staffing shortage for this promotion and the beer table is set up as only one table in the stadium, not multiple, one table, which has 2 teenage girls working it.
Oh, no.
It doesn't go well.
Yeah.
Because basically...
And that's why we can't put women in charge of anything.
Because wait till you hear what they do. It's actually awesome. They were supposed to be keeping track of it, by the way, with no system in place to really know how to do that.
Yeah.
To see how many people get what beers, and kind of it ends up being free for all. They become immediately overwhelmed. The line is so fucking long, and because of that, they are being berated and yelled at, and just like
just giving it away.
So many drunk people. Well, that by the time after not even really they're very much into the game, they fucking abandon ship. They just leave.
Yep.
Honestly makes a lot of sense.
I'd be like, I'm not paid enough
like,
to do this.
Fuck it. And that's kind of what they say. They're like, no. So guess what? This is how Cleveland decides to remedy that situation. Are you ready? Someone from their promotional team has a great idea and decides to just get inside of a truck with beer taps on it, drive it around the stadium, and let people walk up and pour their own beer. Just park it, let people run up, pour as many beers as they want.
So this was out like tap beer. This wasn't like cans.
No, this was keg beer.
Got it.
It's happening in these cups. So you have a cup and you just keep pouring it, drinking it, pouring it, drinking it. I don't even know if they were paying at this point.
Great.
I think it's unchecked and unpaid for. Good. It's very bad. Okay. Here's a little statistic. Here's a little number for you. I told you over 25,000 people were in attendance. Roughly 65,000 beers were sold that night.
And that was sold.
Yeah. So go ahead and do that math.
Oh my God.
Actually, you don't have to, because columnist Hal Leibowitz surmised that half of the fans were actually there for baseball. So they drank little or no beer, which meant that those participating accounted for about 5 beers apiece, if not more. This is a direct quote. It said, I saw 5 fans stand in the beer line, each getting the maximum 6 cups at a time. That's 30 beers. Some of them drank 2 cups and the others inhaled nearly 10 apiece. End quote. A security guard was quoted saying he, quote, saw kids that couldn't be more than 14 years old drinking beer. No, there are no regulations. No one's checking IDs. No one gives a shit. Just absolute.
Just fuck the Rangers.
Mayhem.
It's 10-cent beer night.
By the way, this is all happening before the game even starts.
Good.
So here we go.
Good.
So now we're in the very first inning, and right off the bat, a Rangers player hits a home run. And so Cleveland fans are they're drunk as hell and they're not feeling good about this. They immediately start throwing things at the Texas first baseman, Mike Hargrove, who would later go on to say, quote, I must have had 15 or 20 pounds of hot dogs thrown at me.
Hey, it sounds like college.
You and me both, Mike. In the second inning, a middle-aged woman who literally looks like she could be a secretary at your local doctor's office runs onto the field, flashes the crowd, and then runs up to kiss the umpire, Nestor Shylock, which I think he kind of shoves her off.
First of all, an umpire named Nestor sounds
Nestor
like
Shylock.
Sounds like Cleveland.
It really does. And the crowd fucking loves it. They're going absolutely crazy for her. And you should see this woman. She does not look like the type of person that would run out and flash her boobies. And the fact that she starts this whole night is incredible.
Oh, this is where it starts?
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, all of these are things that you can go online and see. There are pictures.
Good.
Not of the boobies of the people.
I like that you keep calling them boobies.
Boobies, tits, breasts.
Jugs.
Boobies, tits, breast, jugs. So the crowd is going absolutely insane for her when security finally removes her from the field. The stadium is like just cheering her. They just love it. You know what I mean?
We don't even care about baseball anymore.
They're here for it. And truly, they don't. Because now, before long, a barrage of streakers begin to take the field.
What the fuck? It's like a flash mob of naked people.
And you got to remember, at this point, it's the 70s. So
lot
nakedness was a... Oh. That too. But like nakedness was just kind of like, we're coming out of the hippie era.
Yeah, free love.
Just like, yeah, fuck it.
Free love, free jugs.
And like streaking was a big thing then. I feel like people were really into it.
Streaking nowadays I feel like is like quicksand. It like doesn't occur as often as people made you think that it would.
Oh, but in the 70s it was happening quite often, and you'll hear about it here. Here's just a couple of my favorite ones, the more iconic ones. The first one includes a man who in the fourth inning, while fully naked, aside from a pair of black dress socks, dramatically slides into second base, right as Texas player Tom Greaves hits his second home run of the night.
Oh, God.
So mind you, the game is still going on. They are playing through this.
It's like a storm, but of drunk people.
Yes, they're just like, maybe if we don't look at them, they'll just go away.
Yeah, they're not sharks.
They're not. So,
I also don't know if that happens with sharks. Like, if you just don't look at them, they go away. I think
no, that's not true.
That's not how
I
that
think you
works.
have to punch them or something.
Right in between the eyes.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Another iconic duo of the night is a father-son duo. No, hold on.
Okay.
They just run. They're not fully streaking.
Okay.
But they do run onto the field together and moon the crowd. Mooning was big, man. Mooning was big.
And did I tell you? I think I
used to be huge. The amount of hairy asses that I've seen in my childhood.
Well,
not from adults, but from other children, where mooning was just so funny.
Hairy assholes on children?
Yeah.
Whenever I was still shooting weddings, I think I told this story before, but it was a tradition at weddings for all of the men on this one side of the family to show their asses, and they requested a photo. And so I stood there with my face turned. And then I realized after I took the photos, I'm like, I am going to have to edit them. And I didn't like that I took like 30 pictures. I was like, something about this feels like harassment.
It really kind of does. This whole time. Basically, while all of this is going on, the stadium is fucking loving it. People are not there for baseball anymore.
No,
they are there for
point.
the shenanigans. And they are having a great time.
That's what they should have named Cleveland when they changed
Shenanigans?
it. Yeah, instead of the Guardians, it's the Cleveland Shenanigans.
I really would have loved that. The Cleveland 10-cent beers.
Beers.
10-cent beers. Sounds like bears, but they're like, no, we already have a beers. This is the beers. How dare you? Anyways, also at this point, it looks like their team is losing, so they're like, I don't give a fuck anymore.
That's the most Cleveland shit I've ever heard.
Yep. I'm here for the wild times.
Mm-hmm.
Umpires, ushers, security guards, and the grounds crew will spend much of their time herding fans off the field and scooping up their discarded clothing. The man with the black dress socks, at one point when he runs off the field, he leaves behind, like Cinderella, one single black sock.
Aww.
How beautiful. And I think that he probably used the other to put him around his trunk as he went home.
Then turned into a pumpkin. He turned into a sock at midnight.
And then they were also cleaning up, obviously, so many empty beer cups and trash. Up until this point, the crowd's been drunk and rowdy, but they've been harmless. They're having a good time. Everyone just seems like they're happy and silly goofy. However, as anyone who consumes alcohol regularly knows, that will change if you keep consuming it.
Yep.
Once you get over that hill, you think you're just going to have fun all night. Turns out, no.
You're going to fight people.
You're going to either fight, you're going to cry, or you're going to pass out.
Yep.
And one of those three will happen. So now we're at the sixth inning. We're in the sixth inning, and to everyone's surprise, Cleveland actually begins to rally, and they score 2 runs. And then in the 7th inning, they score another run.
Okay.
So now they're tied. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. At this point, it's 5-4. They're only down by 1.
Okay.
Then they score again. Now it's tied 5-5.
Listen.
So the crowd actually, again, is like, oh, shit, we're here for baseball.
Yeah.
That's right. And they start to get into the game again.
Yeah.
But that doesn't last for very long because they're drunk and their attention spans are not very good. So
Texas is probably like, let's just let them win so we can go home.
Can we fucking please leave? Well, here's what they start to do. Once their focus becomes off of it, they start, because it's the 70s, they've been able, nobody's checking bags, right? When you go in, people have brought in fireworks. And so some teenagers start lighting fireworks off into the bullpen of the Rangers.
Oh my God.
They were shooting fireworks into it.
Oh my God. They're like, hey, if we can't win based on our team's talents, we'll just kill you.
So then fucking Nestor Shylock is like, God damn it. So he's having to fucking rally everybody out of the bullpen.
Nestor needs a raise.
He's like, I can't do this, but the game must go on. And
That's
so
what they say.
do. And so they do. However, now, okay, we're in the 9th inning. It's tied 5-5. Cleveland's at bat and the bases are loaded. It's looking like this could be a fucking Cleveland comeback story, which is what they've been wanting for so fucking long. It's looking amazing. But once again,
it's Cleveland, and so that doesn't happen.
It doesn't, because now another fan runs onto the field. This time, now most of these people have been running on fucking showing their boobies or their testicles or their assholes.
And then being on their way.
And then just running off, right? It's just a little bit. This guy, however, he's fully dressed and he runs out into the outfield straight towards a Rangers outfielder named Jeff Burrows. Okay. He runs over, he flips Burrows' hat off his head. Just being a fucking dick. And then he tries to grab his glove. He's like grabbing at him, trying to grab his glove off. Burrows, by the way, because he's drunk, he just falls. And he falls on the ground. Burrows, who is just so fucking annoyed. You have to think they've been being pelted with food.
Fireworks
and drinks.
Just went to their bullpen.
They're fucking getting shot with fireworks. They are so over it.
Yeah.
He goes over and he kicks the dude in the leg. Just to be like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
And then he falls over him, I guess.
You're sober. What's your excuse?
It's a fucking real, like, Three Stooges moment out here. Okay, but while this is going on, and he falls, he says he looks up at the crowd and he starts feeling scared because at this point he begins to feel what he calls, quote, riot psychology. So like he is seeing players, they're not having a good time anymore. They're getting pissed. And they're taking it personally and whatever. So now the Rangers manager, Billy Martin, is in the bullpen, or not the bullpen, the dugout at this point. He sees this go on. And because the outfield, I don't know if you guys, again, have gone to a lot of baseball games, the outfield is very far away. And they're all far apart. So he's alone out there. And from what they can see, it looks like he's just been attacked by this guy. He's been kind of tackled. So Billy Martin looks at the rest of his team. He is so fucking fed up at this point. And he turns to his players in the dugout and he says, let's go get him, boys. And they grab their bats and start running out to the field to go fucking, I guess, help. The Cleveland fans seeing this are like, bet. And they start just climbing over fences to get onto the field in droves. Okay. By the hundreds. Think zombie movie. There are videos of this, and you could see them just like toppling over fences to get onto the field.
And they don't feel a goddamn thing.
They can't feel anything.
They can't feel anything.
None of their bones have any density to them at all. They're all rubber at this point.
They all bounced.
They really
so very
did.
high.
Also,
the Rangers players went at them with bats?
With bats.
You know what? I'm on the drunk people's side now.
Hold on. You're not going to be, because you know what they had? Billy Martin says the reason why they started running out there with bats is because he was spotting people in the crowd coming onto the field with chains, knives, and pieces of the chairs that they've broken off the armrests that they're using as clubs.
Hey, here's the deal. Fuck around and find out. Okay? Don't bring a bat to a club fight. That's what Cleveland says.
The stadium. So now there's this angry drunk mob of about 200 people.
Also, I don't endorse this.
No,
this
I don't.
All a joke.
It's very
this
silly.
Is horrible.
Horrible.
It's horrible.
This is chlorophyll.
It's horrifying and also horrible. Horrible.
There's about 200 people surrounding the Rangers baseball team, and even more are piling in at this time, right? And so the baseball team is maybe a dozen people. It's not very big, okay? So now in Cleveland's dugout, their team is also pissed because they are fucking finally winning. They are having this comeback moment, and their fans, their drunk, stupid fucking fans are ruining this for them. Plus, I think they were...
Isn't that how it always happens?
Literally.
Mom, oh my God.
Damn it, you're drunk again and you're ruining my night.
Get out of my field, Mom.
By the way, I want you all to know that some of you, we have people in Cleveland that listen. These are some of your dads and grandpas.
Oh, yeah.
If they are, I want you to write it and tell me.
Yes.
Go to your fucking parents, your grandparents, ask them about this night. Were they there? Did they know
your
someone
papa,
that
your
was
peepaw?
there? I need to know the insides and outsides. It's right in our backyard, and I just need to
Somebody's
know about it.
uncle is Nestor.
That's
I just know it.
Uncle Nestor. Okay,
we have Uncle Nestor on the pod next week.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Basically, at this point, they're getting very concerned also for the Rangers players because they're becoming outnumbered.
Right.
And this mob is just really fucked up.
Yep.
And so in a moment of solidarity with their bitter rivals, Cleveland's manager orders his team to grab their bats and go out and help the Rangers against their own fans.
Now they're beating the shit out of their own fans.
Well, some of them, yeah. Some of them, yes. Like the Cleveland catcher who kicks a man in the head. But also some of them the other way around. Like at one point, a drunken Cleveland fan hits Cleveland's pitcher over the head with a chair. With a chair. Nestor Shylock also gets hit over the head with a chair.
What in the WWE is happening?
It is so fucked up. There is just punches being thrown. People are being kicked. They're being spit on. This is a bloodbath.
I need to know what Corey was like when you were telling him this story.
Just giddy.
I know it.
He was like, I cannot fucking believe this happened. And I was like, yeah.
No wonder he was like searching for a hat to give me.
Oh, he was thrilled that I was going to be talking about this. Just thrilled.
I know. I walked in and Sierra was wearing a jersey and I was like,
she goes, cool jersey.
All right.
I was like, there is a point to this. I swear to God, I wouldn't just wear this. However, Corey did buy this for me. It's the 2022, like when they were in the All-Star. Because guess what? Cleveland's baseball team is actually pretty fucking good now. And they've been pretty good for a minute. They're actually very good this year. Anyways, I don't know that much. Corey's just very into baseball. But he bought me this, and it still had the tag on it. That's how little I wore it. So actually, I had to wear it for this.
Do you know what's really weird? Is Brady wanted to take me on a date. And he asked me, he's like, so do you want to do something after you get done recording? And I said, sure. And he goes, so what do we do? And I was like, I don't know what people do.
For dates?
For dates. And I said to him, let's go to a batting cage.
Ooh.
And I said that last night, which I find now weird
that this
was the topic.
Very strange.
He was like, I mean, I guess we can try and find one. I'm like, I'm just fucking with you. I don't actually care to go to a batting cage. No, they don't.
They got
it's completely gone. Yeah.
Loved
I was actually going to tell you about that and forgot. Yeah, it's completely gone.
I used to work there. That's where I worked when I was pregnant, and it was my favorite job because no one ever did the batting cages, and I could just sleep.
Well, they continued not to do the batting cages, and then they demolished it.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's gone.
Damn, that's sad.
You're gonna have to find a new job when you're pregnant.
I guess next time. Certainly not going to be this. Just kidding. All right, so here we go. Nestor Shylock gets hit in the head, and while he's hit in the head, he's looking down, obviously, from that swing. When he looks down, he notices a hunting knife that lands at his feet. Like it's been thrown at him.
Yeah.
So he knows for sure now he's got to call the game.
Yeah.
I think that is so fucking funny that it took until this moment.
Yeah.
They really thought that they were going to keep going, that they could be like, but again, at this point, brawls and things like that were not uncommon. Like still to this day,
200 people being on the field.
That's a little different. That's a little different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just crazy. Nestor Shylock will later tell AP, quote, "We were so scared out there. It was 500 to 1 odds, and we could have gotten killed very easily. I'm sure the only other place you would see something like this happen would be in a zoo." End quote. It was just fucking mayhem.
Yeah.
There is nothing scarier to me than drunk 18-year-olds. I will tell you that right now, especially drunk 18-year-old boys. Get me as far the fuck away from them as possible.
Yes.
You couldn't pay me.
You know what? You couldn't pay me to be around sober once.
That's so true. That's so true. As mothers of boys.
As mothers of boys and as someone who used to work in a school.
Yeah. Hell no. Hell no.
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
So luckily at this point, security is able to help hold the crowd off so the teams can fight their way to the tunnels to get back to their locker room. So they get in there, they close the doors. They're finally all safe. And the doors are bolted then behind them. When the teams get back to their locker room, they are soaked with beer, blood, sweat, and spit. It's yucky. One of Cleveland's announcers, by the way,
I feel the worst about the spit.
Same. The announcers at this point are still announcing what's going on, like you would hear over a radio. And at one point, this is my favorite fucking part of this entire story. While this fucking mayhem is going on, the organist that is there starts playing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" over the loudspeaker. Just really not reading the room well at all.
I also imagine that the announcers were like, "All right, and we're going to take a break. This part is sponsored by Baskin Robbins."
Right. Well, so at this point, but when the teams are finally off the field, the announcer who is still broadcasting says, quote, "I've been in this business for over 20 years and I have never seen anything as disgusting as this. This is tragic." End quote. And this is one of Cleveland's announcers.
Yeah.
So it's not good.
Yeah.
So now Nestor Shylock calls the game as a forfeit due to the crowd's behavior, which means
Cleveland
the
loses.
Rangers win. Yes. So now the fucking crowd is fuming. Even more
Nestor's
so.
gonna die.
Well, Nestor's safe now.
Okay, good.
However, at this point, there was a part in the story that said that when he was going back in the tunnels, he was so fucking pissed off about everything that he smashed every light bulb he saw on the way in. Which I find is a very Nestor move.
That is a very Nestor move.
Okay, so when the crowd hears that the Rangers win and that it's a forfeit, they're furious, even though it is their fault.
Yeah, they're not furious with themselves, I'm sure.
Ohio move. And they're very drunk still on the field. And so they begin to tear the field apart. They are ripping up grass. They are stealing the bases. They are even...
If we can't win, no one can play ever again.
They are even ripping down pieces of the stadium's padded walls. They are just tearing the shit up. Like animals, truly.
Yeah.
And at this point, there is a lone journalist, this poor fucking man, I think his name was Dan, who is still out there trying to do his job. He is trying to interview people who are still out there. While he's doing his job interviewing people, he ends up getting punched in the face. Dan! Not once, but twice. I'm so sorry, Dan. It's not funny, but it is very sad.
Dan.
The Cleveland police finally show up to clear the field.
Fucking took you so long.
Literally. And they do this by turning off all the lights and then throwing tear gas onto the field, which obviously fucking gets people to disperse pretty fucking quickly.
It's giving Kent State.
It really is. Except for these people, I feel deserved it a little bit. They were being rowdy and trying to murder people. So
that's true. Well, I'm not talking about the National Guard Kent State.
Oh.
I'm talking about College Fest Kent State, where they did that and we're shooting rubber bullets into the crowd.
I didn't know that happened.
Oh, yeah.
Shit.
Oh, yeah. There's recordings of that as well.
I did not know that.
Go ahead and Google College Fest Kent State.
Oh, God.
It's got to be like 2012 or something.
You were there for that?
I had left, or maybe I hadn't gotten there yet. No, my friends were there.
That was the year I had a baby.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Most people at this point leave because of the tear gas, except for a very small group of about a dozen teenagers who have climbed up onto the Rangers dugout and is shouting for the team to come back out and fight them.
Come back out here, you fucking pussies.
I will fucking fight you, dude.
I swear to God.
Oh, I hate drunk teenagers. I'm just kidding. If you're a drunk teenager, I don't mean you.
Listening right now. All the drunk teenagers
that we haven't listened to this podcast.
Shut the fuck up, honestly.
Shut up. 7 people end up going to the hospital this night, but only for minor injuries.
Well, that's good.
No one miraculously is seriously injured.
No one was stabbed?
No one was seriously injured throughout
good.
this entire thing. 9 people end up getting arrested.
Mm-hmm. If I'm one of those 9 people, I'm pissed.
Dude, right? Because you're like, what the fuck? It was probably, I bet, out of the dozen, 9 of them were from the ones that were still up on top of that thing.
Oh, yeah.
The police were like, well, you're easy to get.
Coming for
We're
you.
Rip you down there. And the athletes and team members obviously are very shaken up by what happens. The Rangers manager, Billy Martin, said, quote, "It's the closest I've ever seen anyone to getting killed in my more than 25 years in baseball."
Well, that's because it's not usually a combat sport.
Truly. Despite everything that happened that night.
Combat? I think I meant contact.
I honestly think both work.
I'm going to stand by both of them.
Are you ready for this next part? This ending? Despite everything that happened that night, Cleveland would go on to host another 10-cent beer night just a couple weeks later.
Why?
Because here in Ohio, we never learned from our mistakes the first time around. I'm just kidding. They did do that, except they did learn from their mistakes.
Okay.
And so this time around,
they have 3 teenage girls.
No, they have a very strict 2 beer maximum.
Okay.
That's it. And they use tickets this time to track the beer's purchases. So if you don't have a ticket, you don't get a beer. And they have 4 times the usual security staff. So 100 security instead of 25.
They were like, we are going to get this right. I don't care how many fucking times it takes.
And that one goes off great. It's
sure.
Perfect. So that is the story of one of the craziest nights in honestly all of sports history. Cleveland's infamous 1974 10-cent beer night.
The mistake on the lake. God damn. Wow, what a story.
I thought that you would enjoy it, and I was like, that's a little bit of a break. It's not such a heavy history story, but it's one where it's like, damn, I never knew that, and that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm glad it was a hit when I was hearing it for the first time.
Pun intended. Bit of a home run, if you will. I love that you thought punch when I said hit, and I thought baseball.
Both are applicable in this case.
Applicable.
Anyways, that's all we have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Maybe we'll find some more silly ones. If you get a chance, go ahead and send us what you think we should react to. Or do you stand by that?
Yeah,
because I think that'll be a fun one to do next week.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
I'm really excited to do that one, and I've almost been like going back and forth between like do I listen to old episodes and see if I can like anticipate what people are gonna send, and I was like, nah, fucking raw dog it. And also, here's something I want to say. We get to decide what's in the episode.
Yes.
So, send whatever you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if you are like, this is a juicy question, or this is a, like...
Send it.
Send it, because I don't want to shy away from stuff, and I don't want to be in an echo chamber of yes men. So, if you're like, hey, remember this?
Do you stand by it? My stream, there was... Spoiler. So don't listen if you're going to watch the stream, I guess, and you really care. But I did have a baby, and they forced me to name it Greg or Nikhil. They were like, you fucking said you would.
That's fair.
You better too.
That's fair.
It was really fun. So yeah, that was one of the things I knew would be a do you stand by, and I did name my child that. So don't come for me.
Just in The Sims.
Yeah. I never said which one of my daughters.
That's true. That is true.
You said I would name a daughter that.
Fair. Well, thank you so much for that, Steve Bear.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We love you so much. And we'll see you next week.
All right.
We're out.
Goodbye.